Welcome to this video tutorial on the 5 pillars of SEO, which is for sale on Amazon.com. I'm Steve Constable, and I'll be your presenter today. Well, I've been working professionally in the area of search engine marketing for over 16 years. I've worked for major corporations such as IBM, Motorola, AT&T, Chicago Sun-Times, Reed Elsevier, Classified Ventures, and other companies. I operate my own consulting firm, which is Steve Constable New Media Services. You can follow a written transcript of this video on my website at steveconstable.com/SEO pillars. So currently in the field of SEO, there's kind of a great deal of problem with structuring the project management of SEO projects. Matt Cutts famously stated in 2010 that there are over 200 ranking signals in the Google algorithm. And, how does one manage such a huge number of factors and keep up with all of that? There really has to be an easier way. So what I did is I created a project management plan which covers and encapsulates all 200 ranking signals, and I placed them into 5 distinct SEO pillars. And it's just been a beautiful system. It's really helped for my clients, and we're getting really good ranking results as a result of it. So what I wanted to do is I just wrote a book on it, and this is what we're going to be covering today. So the 5 current SEO pillars are relevance, authority, user experience, site speed optimization, and security. So in the beginning of SEO, and we're going back 20 years now, there were search engines such as Yahoo and Google in its infancy. And at that time, let's just talk about Google, for instance. The first Google algorithm really only worked on the pillar of relevance. It essentially only scanned the title tag, nothing else, and you would get a result based on what you had written in the title tag. Now, for those who don't know what the title tag is a part of HTML document, and it's a tag. And so anyway, the relevance was really the very first pillar of SEO, and what followed was authority. Authority can be what your connections are on the web. For instance, it's you can think of SEO ranking of a site is kind of like a democracy when it comes to authority. If people are voting for you in the sense of a backlink or a co-citation reference or social signal, that would be, or they're voting for you in terms of click-through rate and interaction design. That's another area of authority, of course. Those type of signals will tell Google, gosh, this is a really important website. We need to rank it high. Let's rank it on the first page. Why not? So relevance and authority are extremely important to SEO, and if you think about it, it's pretty much built into just about every algorithm out there, from say Bing to Yelp to who knows what. I mean, it's just essential that every algorithm have both relevance and authority as part of how they structure it. So after those 2 pillars came the desire to rank in other areas of quality. Quality would be, say, a good user experience. Quality would be site speed optimization. Quality would be security, So those are the additional pillars that were tacked on bit by bit, year over year, different, as Google really came around to understanding how to create how to list sites of quality. And so we'll get it further. And if you were interested in learning specific areas of user experience, site speed optimization, security. It's definitely in my book, as well as, of course, relevance and authority. And I highly recommend that you pick up the book. It's on Amazon.com, and it's a really good read, and it's really going to fill in everything you need to know on those areas. So, what is the proximate hierarchy of importance of each pillar to most search engines today in 2017, or, likely 2018 or 2019? So, it'll be relevance at around 30%, and this is from my tests. I've done a number of tests over the last 2-3 years. And authority would be one of the most important aspects. I think that they're both important. They're both like brothers. They work together. You can't really have one without the other if you expect to rank on the first page for anything. But authority definitely has a lot of pull. Now, this is with the Google algorithm. I've had different results with Bing. I think Bing is much more geared toward relevance rather than authority. It really hasn't spent the time that Google has searching out ways of ranking or factors of authority. And we're going to get into authority in the next slide, but let's move forward. So then, of course, it's the user experience and site speed. They're approximately the same in terms of the value that they bring. And security is really a newer signal, so it doesn't have a lot of pull in terms of the hierarchy of importance. But if you think about these three areas, user experience, site speed, security, they're really the tail of the dog. They're not the dog itself. So when you're building the site, it's important to put in user experience and site speed, and that's the kind of work and security. That's the kind of work you can do in the first month of an SEO project. But that's really just the tail of the dog. That's usually what I tell my clients. I definitely do the work of user experience, site speed, and security right away. I get it done. I check it off. I also try to make the site as relevant as I can, depending on the size of the site. If it's huge site of thousands and thousands of pages, it can take a while to optimize every page. So that can take weeks, months of work if it's just me doing it. But anyway, so I definitely would like to get that part of the project done right away. User experience, site speed, and security. It just makes sense. It's good to do it. But it is the tail of the dog. It won't necessarily get you on the first page in and of itself. Certainly not. Authority is one of the signals that really you have to do every month ongoing, and it's just an essential part of SEO, and it has the most weight, and it can take you the farthest way above everybody else when you're truly, genuinely authoritative. So let's talk about authority now that we're into that. So there are a number of different ways that a site can become authoritative. If you have a freshness of your content, that makes you look like really a news source to Google. You could update your blog often, and that definitely has some weight to it. Of course, there's backlinks. Backlinks are important. Backlinks is really like a vote and there are quality backlinks, and there are backlinks that are of poor quality. And that's really I explain pretty well in my book. So you can get a good idea of how to gauge quality backlinks, and there's also user interaction signals. User interaction would be click-through rate, but also it would be bounce rate. Bounce rate is, if you have a high bounce rate, you're definitely not important in any way, shape, or form. I think the people have spoken, and your analytics report is showing you that, you really need to work on your site design, because people are just hating it. And when people don't like you, you suffer. Your rank will suffer. Then also there are social signals. Social signals is kind of a red herring in a way, because Google at one point stated that yes, they do track social signals, is what they said early on, and now they disavow that concept, and they say that correlation is not causation, etc., etc. So there's some controversy about social signals. But I do believe they're real, and in this sense, in to the extent, this is very important, to the extent that um, they can connect with the database. Databases are tricky, and for instance, like say, can Google track the number of likes on Facebook? There may be some difficulty because there really may not be an open format for tracking these signals. But there is open formats on sites. Well, within its own network. For instance, the Google My Business Center has reviews, and those reviews are definitely tracked by Google. And yes, I've seen it from my own uh, tests that sites, even without backlinks or co-citations or anything, rank well with quality social signals from Google My Business and Yelp and other review sites of note. So reviews are definitely a powerful signal, and they're a vote from people, the public. So any way that the public is expressing in different ways, whether they like or don't like a site or a business, that will you know be a factor in your authority. Now, co-citations, I write about that in the book, and it's just something that feel free to just pick up the book and learn about co-citations. So, what is the role? Okay, the role of critical mass in SEO to determine shifts in the algorithm. So, critical mass is a concept where or using the critical mass is kind of like a business concept, but I've applied it really to to SEO, because I believe it's definitely something that Google thinks about in when they make decisions on how they're going to make changes. For instance, let's talk about mobile get-in for a minute. Mobile get-in was this several years ago push by Google to get websites to be more responsive, and they said, "Look, you better make your site mobile ready, or else your Google ranking is going to suffer. So get ready, everybody better make that shift." Well, what happened was not much happened. Sites that didn't prepare for mobile get-in did not lose their ranking, and there is a reason for that. At least in the current state, they didn't have enough quality websites to replace those important websites. So they kept their ranking because there wasn't a critical mass of quality sites to replace them. And Google didn't want to hurt the algorithm. But now they kind of don't look so good, or at least they're not doing it now, because it's really like the boy crying wolf in a way. So I haven't heard of a new, scarier mobile get-in coming along. So, but who knows? Maybe they'll do it in the future, because essentially they will have the critical mass. More and more people are going mobile ready, mobile responsive, and that's all to the good. And Google would be more in a catbird seat probably in the next year or so. So definitely critical mass is part of SEO. It's really something that's not very uh, discussed too often, and it's kind of a shame, because it really does play an important part of it. Of course, we don't have all the data that Google has, so they can see when they want to flip the switch. But it's just something to be mindful of, if you're curious about, okay, how does Google make its decisions? What data does it act upon? And it's going to act upon the preponderance of sites a critical mass of sites that are of quality, and then they'll decide when to shut out the older quality yet say not mobile ready websites. So that's that. And you can buy the book. It's on Amazon. It's called The Five Pillars of SEO. It's really a great book. It talks about, much more in detail than what I've talked about today. I'm just going over, the overview of the book. And so, yeah, once again, I'm for hire. And if you like this presentation and my ideas on SEO and could use an SEO consultant for your next project, then feel free to look me up and contact me directly. My company website is steveconstable.com. The name of my company, once again, is Steve Constable New Media Services. So thanks a lot, and have a great day.